LonRacers, the owner of label FutureBots 2, has been leading, for the past few months, something that I could only describe as a harassment campaign targeted at me. Ever since I made my first video on Red Galaxy, LonRacers got annoyed that his name appeared in one of my screenshots that I provided as evidence for one of my claims. In that screenshot, LonRacers can be seen taking part in a bullying campaign led by NCD. What followed were a bunch of posts made by LonRacers trying his absolute hardest to discredit my works. I originally found it quite funny to see how desperate this guy was to slander me on everything that I was saying, but it became annoying very quick. Mainly because LonRacers couldn't help himself not to make up fake accusations about me. I originally planned for this video to be a little more lighthearted, so we can all just point and laugh at this guy. But I quickly remembered more of what LonRacers has done, and how he has no remorse for his actions whatsoever. This video is anything but lighthearted. In fact, I will discuss and expose some very serious and fucked up things that may not be suitable for underage people or people with a weak heart. In this video, the following subjects will be present: rape, grooming a minor, racism, doxing, bullying, gore, and pornography. Viewer discretion is advised. I will, however, put a trigger warning at the beginning of each section in which we will discuss the mentioned things. The first post LonRacers made about me was in regards to Risya's video on me, saying that he supports that video and only made the response because I mentioned him in my video. This post is fine, for the most part. Apart from him stating some lies that I will discuss in my second video on Risya, this post is absolutely fine, and if he would have stopped here, there wouldn't be anything for me to talk about. He didn't stop here. After seeing this post, I went on with my day. Some days later, I got into an argument with NCD. NCD is the type of coward that will throw random insults at you to piss you off, and after you respond frustrated, he or his loyal pet LonRacers will take that response and remove all the context around it to make a post, framing you of something you didn't do. They did it before, back in October, and they are doing it again. In this argument, I fought back. I might not look like it, but me and NCD used to be friends from May to October. In that time period, NCD was bitching in my DMs about all his insecurities. I was also doing that from time to time. I thought we were friends after all. But when we split apart, he then used those insecurities of mine to gain some kind of leverage over me. And now it was the perfect time for me to strike back. So I did that. I was bringing up all his insecurities that he revealed to me, and he was clearly getting frustrated. So I replied with this message, in which I ended off with the following statement. Maybe it's not the best idea to go after the guy who knows so much about you IRL. This message was strictly referring to the fact that NCD has no friends in real life, something that he made very clear when he was bitching in my DMs. Now that you have the full context of the situation, let's see how LonRacers tried to twist my words around to make it look like I said something I didn't. The first of three posts he made is this one, in which he says, context. Quipal said maybe it's not the best idea to go after the guy who knows so much about you IRL to NCD, which is a doxing threat, which implies he's going to make a post or video exposing NCD's IRL stuff. First of all, I don't think you need to be a genius to realize, but this is not context. He is simply repeating what you can already see in the screenshot. Between him and his audience, the only person that actually has access to the full context was him. He deliberately decided not to show the real context to twist my words into a false accusation that I threatened to dox NCD. Red Galaxy replied to this post. I will use this reply in my second video on Risya to debunk one of his many lies. Thanks, Red Galaxy. Apparently for LonRacers, simply falsely accusing me of doing a dox thread wasn't enough, as in his next post, he straight up accuses me of doxing. He reposts one of NCD's posts from his troll account. The funny thing is, they can't even agree themselves it happened. NCD claims that I give his private information to someone and that person doxed him, while it says that someone else gave me NCD's private information and I doxed him. None of these two versions of events ever happened. I later confronted Lon on the topic as well as another one, and he confirmed that he made them up. The last post on the topic was actually the first one I've seen, as this time he chose to ping me in it, saying, Atențios extras, you wanna dox NCD? Dox me instead. I was very confused about this, as I never said nor wanted to dox NCD, so I replied with the fuck, TF, to which LonRacers replies with methamphetamine. Shows you how okay in the head this person is. After that, I released my first video on Risya. This time, it had nothing about LonRacers in it. But that didn't stop him from making a post about it, accusing me of lying about Risya, saying I have spotted at least 10 lies, yet he can't mention a single one. If we ignore the fact that every claim I made about Risya has proof to back it up, my video has no accusations thrown at Risya, just contradictions, aka when Risya was accusing me of doing something, and I revealed that Risya was doing the exact same thing. Another way to determine that this post is full of shit is that it doesn't follow LonRacer's formula for making posts. Every other post he made has an introduction and a screenshot to back up what he's saying, all except the ones on me. This post annoyed me the most, because it claimed that Risya is the one being attacked, despite the fact that Risya is the one who attacked me and started all of this based on lies. I will once again mention that I confronted LonRacers about his lies and slander on my name. Instead of him elaborating or showing any kind of proof to back up what he's saying, he simply replied with womp womp, proving once and for all that his accusations were fake to begin with. LonRacers has done more posts, but the last one I want to touch on is the one that Risya reposted in an attempt to clear his name. For context, Besko and Silent Killer revealed to the world that Risya told his supporters to block them and say bye as a taunt. Risya was not too happy about this, so he made his response lying as usual. He claimed that he didn't tell anyone to block them, and they all did because they wanted to. Yeah, Risya, they all coincidentally all replied with bye in the same time period. Risya then provided a screenshot of Besko's post and tells me specifically to show any proof of him telling people to block them. That quest enraged me. First of all, it enraged me because in the video Risya made on me, Risya doesn't show any proof for every claim he made. Yet he has the audacity to request proof from me. Second of all, it enraged me because the proof he's asking from me was already revealed by Beskos himself. Besko's post had two slides, one showing Risya contradicting himself, as usual, and one showing the proof. In the second one, we can clearly see from one of the users that he states, I have to buy you. Not that I want to buy you, or simply block Besko without saying anything like a normal person would. No, he says, I have to buy you. That indicates that he might have been threatened by Risya into blocking Besko. So I reached out to him to confirm. I asked him if he blocked Besko because he wanted to or because he was told to do so. He didn't want to reply and later blocked me. Risya deliberately didn't mention the fact that the proof he's asking from me was already public. This is because he knew that his audience wouldn't care to check Besko's original post. In fact, the post is not linked or reposted by Risya at all, to ensure that most people won't bother to go and check to see the proof is there or not to begin with. And it worked. But most people saw through Risya's bullshit, and more accusations started appearing, including one by Nicolas Almeida, in that Risya had an 18 plus channel in his Discord server. Risya makes a post admitting that the channel was real, but he also says that no not safe for work content was ever sent there, accusing Nicolas of saying that they posted uncensored not safe for work in there. But in the screenshot provided, Nicolas never mentions uncensored not safe for work. In fact, he never mentions not safe for work at all. Risya made that up to ruin Nicolas's reputation. It was a valid concern that Risya's server, in a community with a majority of minors, mostly people under 15, had an 18 plus channel. LonRacers, seeing this, decided to be the knight in shining armor and defend Risya, making a post that Risya later reposted. He mentions that he wasn't told to block Pesco, which I already revealed that he was in fact told to block Pesco. He also mentions that the 18 channel did exist. Honestly, I have no clue how Risya thought it would be a good idea to repost this. LonRacers, a 13-year-old kid that Risya knew since he was 12 years old, just admitted to having access to an 18 plus channel in Risya's server. Both of them keep mentioning that there was no not safe for work content sent in there, but refuse to talk about anything else that falls under the 18 plus umbrella, which probably means that at least some of those things were in fact mentioned in that channel. On Discord, there are three ways to deal with the 18 plus channel. 1. Not have any at all. It's a community of mostly children, Risya. Second, which is the best and only option if you ignore the first one, is to have it hidden until the age of the user is verified. Third, is mainly an option for people over the age of 18 that have a weak heart or that do not want to be exposed to 18 plus content, which is to have a warning label. After talking with an ex-admin of that server, he has confirmed that the option Risya went with was option 3. The third option is not meant to be used in servers with minors, as any minor can simply click I understand or continue and become exposed to the content of that channel. We have no way of knowing what was actually discussed about in that channel since Risya deleted it after the callout, which, don't get me wrong, is probably the most mature thing Risya, a 23-year-old, has done in this entire drama. However, NCD, a current admin in Risya's server, has spoken inappropriately with minors before. In some cases, the minor was under 13 years old. It is safe to assume that in that channel NCT had a safe space in which he could talk as inappropriately as he wanted with anybody, including minors. Since that channel was so easy to access, you can just imagine how many minors were there. But even though they mentioned that no not safe for work was ever sent there, you can imagine a scenario in which a new user joins, sees the channel, and assumes he can post not safe for work there, since it's an 18 plus channel after all. Who would have been liable that minors now have access to porn in that server? You would have been liable, Risya. LonRacers has since made multiple posts getting angry at the fact that many people do not support Risya after what he did. He keeps calling my accusations fake, the ones that I have shown countless proof for, but he makes no effort to debunk them. Before we start this segment, I have managed to narrow down to 4 victims that have been confirmed to have suffered to this abuse of the bullying campaigns. In this video, they will be referred as Victim 1, Victim 2, Victim 3, and Victim 4. For Victim 2 and Victim 3, their abuse happened privately, therefore we do not know exactly how things happened. All we do know is that for Victim 3, he was also doxxed by this bullying campaign. They got his IP address. For Victim 1 and Victim 4, however, well, Victim 1 was by far their biggest bullying campaign and it was all public. The link to the Discord server in which this happened I will be in the description, but I will advise you, you will see stuff there that you probably shouldn't if you are under the ages of 18. And Victim 4 was me, and I'm gonna share with you what they did to me. This video will take a nosedive and discuss very heavy topics that are not suitable for people below a certain age or people with a weak heart. I will not be showing any of the images that were tossed around in this, but even without that, viewer discretion is advised. Back in October of 2024, NCT, alongside LonRacers and around 10 other people, gathered together in a Discord server that was abandoned to bully a 12-year-old kid. I will be censoring most of the names of the people that participated in the bullying. That's because most of the people moved on from this event. And while they still deserve backlash, I already have 4 people stalking my every movement, and I do not want more. The only 2 people whom didn't move on are NCD, who still brags about this, to what he did to this day, and LonRacers, who still does similar stuff to this day. I won't be censoring their names. So what happened in this bullying campaign? Well, bullying, of course, but more importantly, the victim was doxxed. One of the people pretended to be his friend, sent him a link, the victim clicked on it, and just like that, they now had his exact address, down to a local store and the exact street he lived on. That was NCD's plan, to get this person that we will call Doxer, and we will mark as red from now on, to dox the victim by any means. NCD originally had no remorse for what happened, but after a lot of people he liked cut ties with him, he changed his entire persona, and now condemning the doxer. Despite doing that, he still didn't tell anyone that he was the guy who told the doxer to dox the victim to begin with. After the doxing, none of them had the reality check that they are going way too far, and were making the situation even worse, saying, fly to Bangladesh, let's fly to Bangladesh, the country in which the victim lived, I want to murder the victim, and the worst one of all, victim, I fucking hate you, I am going to rape you. The person who said this, whom we'll call Yellow, was 17 years old at the time, and after the victim, a 12-year-old, was doxed, said that he wanted to go and rape him. NCD's response was W Yellow. But once again, after a bunch of people cut ties with him, he changed his stance again and now was against Yellow, calling him a groomer on separate occasions, despite the fact that he was perfectly okay with when it happened. The end goal of this bullying campaign was clear from the start: to mentally damage this 12-year-old kid with a not fully developed brain into committing suicide. We are not done, but I want to remind you all that this environment was created by NCD, and NCD was perfectly okay with what was being said here. LonRacers was also okay with everything, and at no point did LonRacers say that this is going way too far or simply left the server. No, he continued to participate in this. I mention this again because both NCD and LonRacers are now in Risya's new ranking group. And when I called out NCD for doing this shit in the video on Red Galaxy, Risya defended him every step of the way, saying stuff like this is just a private sob story. Risya compared NCD bullying a kid with the purpose of making him commit suicide as just a private sob story. Risya is okay with being friends with this horrible human being, which wouldn't be that much of a problem if he wouldn't have defended and shielded him from any consequences or backlash. Furthermore, Risya attacked me when I tried to bring this to light. As I mentioned, I am the fourth victim. And if you're wondering how I became the fourth victim, here is a little backstory. One of the people in the bullying campaign was an artist I was actively supporting on my channel. When I saw what he was doing, 17 days later, I instantly removed all of his songs from my channel and left out a statement so that everyone knows that I no longer support him. Because of this, the bullying campaign shifted their attention from the victim to me. Under NCD's command, the doxer that doxed the victim was now trying to dox me. When I didn't fall for it, he was getting more and more frustrated and became overly racist, sending rape threats to me, but also about my family. After that, he was sending gore, pornography, including a picture of a penis that he claimed is from a child, though I wasn't able to confirm, and epilepsy traps. Many of the members in the bullying campaign were rightfully disgusted and started separating themselves from him. All but NCD, LonRacers, and a few others. In fact, NCD used this opportunity to organize another bullying campaign on Victim 3. After this, NCD tried to fix his relationship with me and the people that cut ties with him, saying that he changed and that he never actually supported Yellow and the Doxer. Yeah, dude, definitely, I believe you. He wasn't actually apologizing to me or the victim. In fact, he made an apology in ChatGPT and said it was made with ChatGPT to mock us, but still wanted forgiveness. I did the dumb mistake of believing him. But then, just a few days later, he slandered me again. So I cut ties with him for good and didn't tell any of the people he wanted to re-befriend that he was a changed man. After all, on the same day he told me he has changed, he was ongoing another bullying campaign on Victim 3. He got so butthurt that I didn't want to fix my relationship with him that he then made another bullying group chat, this time about me. Many things were said in that group chat, but I will only focus on the things that LonRacers said for the most part. 1. He was saying the N word without saying the N word. Instead of typing the word himself, he would send screenshots of the word, like that would somehow magically shield him from backlash. He did say the N word quite a couple of times, as well as other slurs. He was also telling me to kill myself, saying stuff in his language that I didn't bother to ever translate, so if anyone wants to do it, you are free to do so. He was doing a terrible job of using my native language to insult me and my family, as well as other racist remarks. These times were very hard for me. Every time I woke up, I was feeling a pain in my chest. I was thinking about committing suicide many times. Luckily, I have some amazing IRL friends who noticed that something was wrong with me and supported me every step of the way. So why didn't I leave this group chat? Well, I did, and I was instantly added back. At that point, I decided to stay, so that I see how far they will go. I screenshotted 90% of what was being said there, and this video only uses around 5%. I made a dumb mistake of keeping this event to me inside me and not making it public with anyone, not sharing it with anyone, not even my parents. That changed me as a person, something that many people have noticed, and I wish to go back to the guy I was before, but I simply can't anymore. This scarred me, but I was acting like everything was fine. I was ignoring every single suicidal thought that I had. I started dreaming of suicide. I isolated myself from my friends and many more things that I am not ready to discuss publicly. In May, when I did my video on Red Galaxy, I mentioned briefly, for not even 15 seconds, this event and what they did to me. Risya responded, telling me that I shouldn't make this experience public. That is just a private sob story. Risya sided with the people that wanted me to commit suicide, telling me to shut my mouth so that no one knows what they did to me. Risya tried to silence me numerous times, making up fake accusations because he had no real accusations to make. I didn't do anything wrong. He told me to shut my mouth, but he himself can't stop mentioning every single little shit, no matter how little, that people do to him. He twisted my words into making it seem like I said something I didn't. When I called him pathetic, that he spent his time after the hospital making a video lying about me and making fake accusations instead of focusing on himself. He twisted that into me making fun of the fact that he was in the hospital. I never made fun of him being in the hospital. As I mentioned previously, I have managed to confirm only 4 victims. I honestly think there are way more. For NCD, what he did here is probably not even 1%, about all the dramas he has created, since he bragged about other ones that he made all the way back in 2022. While the group chat on me is long gone, and other group chats they made to bully other victims are also probably gone, the messages that they sent in the public server are still there, the public server of Victim 1. A server invite will be in the description of this video. Many messages have since been deleted, but many are still there. And you can go and see for yourself everything I mentioned in this video if you do not trust that I'm telling the truth. I must remind you that a bunch of gore, porn, and epilepsy traps are still present there. So if you wish to join, do it at your own risk. In case you forgot the plot, these people are fully supported and shielded by Risya. Risya uses his power as a big ranker in the community to hide what they did. When I briefly addressed this, Risya, in an attempt to shield NCD, said that this is just a private sob story and shouldn't be discussed publicly, while he at the same time was publicly attacking other people that did similar things. Double standards at their finest. Red Galaxy also said in the video on me that my accusations are exaggerated shit to the max. You, the viewer, should be the judge of that. I am still working on my second video on Risya, when I will be exposing all the lies Risya tried to tie to me. I would also like to make a video about the horrible shit NCD and other people that support Risya and Risya supports have said using alts. But until then, I have been Quasm, and this was the time LonRacers NCD and many others tried to make me commit suicide, and I'm glad I didn't.